Okay, we are in, again, Joshua chapter 17, verse 15. What we were dealing with is that the tribes, Bnei Menashe and Bnei Ephraim, came to Yehoshua, and what they had said was, we need more land. And Joshua, remember, it just went through a lottery system that was Al Pi Hashem, via Hashem. So if you're going to impugn the lottery, you're really impugning the concept of neviut, of prophecy. And you're impugning that this whole thing was done via Hashem. So that Joshua could not accept. You understand? You're
Yeah, I didn't quite. I see how lottery would be prophecy, but what are you contradicting now?
When the tribes come, when Menashe and Ephraim come and say, Joshua, we need more land.
Yeah.
So they're implying that you made a mistake. You made a mistake. We have more people. That was the argument. We have more people. We have than some other tribes. We need more land. So therefore, there must be a fault in the system. And once there's a fault in the system, so now that means it's a fault in your prophecy. Thus, a chink in the armor, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of problems going on. Because if he was wrong on Menashe and Ephraim, so then who knows what else he got wrong. So in order not to impugn the integrity of the lottery and of the prophecy and everything else, so this is where he's going to come up with his response. He has to make the response. Good. So here it is. It says, Vayomer Alehem Yehoshua. Joshua said to them, Im Amravata, if you are numerous, Alei Lecha Hayara, go up to the forest, Uvereita Lecha Sham, and clear for yourself there, Be'eretz Haprizi V'Arafaim, and the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim. I don't know how you say Rephaimites, but okay, Rephaim. Ki atz lecha har ha'Ephraim, because the mountain of Ephraim is narrow for you. Does it make sense? Remember, the way I translate it is literal. So, does it make sense to you? Again, Joshua said to them, if you have so much, then go up to the forest and cut down for yourselves there in the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, because it is the Har Ephraim, Mount Ephraim, is too narrow for you, or too pressed for you. Has to be pressed also.
Go take over some more land that we didn't take over before.
Is that what he's saying? So what's he actually saying to them? Is he agreeing with them?
It sounds like he's saying, what you get is what you get. If you want more, go take it where nobody else is taking it.
Okay, that's possible. I hear that. Go ahead. What else?
If you don't like what I'm giving you, go ahead and do your own thing.
Okay, so you're saying what Mr. Armstrong is saying, yeah?
Basically the same thing. If you don't like what the lottery provides, i.e. what God is guiding, then make your own way.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on your own at that point, right?
Yeah. First of all, I want to point out there's an interesting word here in this sentence. Uvereita. What's the shorish of uvereita? Bara. Beit Resh Aleph. Yeah. Okay, so normally you would think the shorish Beit Resh Aleph means create. But here it means cut down. If you look it up in the dictionary, it does actually say cut down. There are two words. There's two definitions. The first definition would be create. The second definition is to cut down. To cut trees, in other words. So to you trees.
Discussing in our Hebrew lesson about karat, to cut, or to make a deal.
No, that would be karat. This is bara.
Oh, okay.
This is bara. And if he would have said karat lecha or something like that, I wouldn't have really had such a problem. But when it says uvereita lecha shalom, and you should cut down for yourself trees, there, I could see, remember, I have vowels. We all have vowels in front of us. We all have a Masorah. We have the tradition. In other words, we know what the word means, and we know how to say it. But if I didn't have that, and I would just have the text without that, you would probably read it as uvarata, and you should create for yourselves there. And so what was it? Creating a space for yourself, right?
Yeah.
That would make sense to create for yourself there.
Yeah.
So that's personally me. Nobody else is saying that. So if anybody wants to argue with me, this is fair ball. They can argue all they want. But I'm just saying, if I didn't have vowels, I wouldn't have known what the vowels would be. So then it could appear that it's creating for yourself there. Now the rabbis will explain, specifically the Metzudas David. He will say that what's going on is he says, go up to the mountains. He said, which means if it's true that you are a great nation, then based upon your statement that you're a great nation, you can go up into the to the forest of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, which are in your land. This is your land we're talking about. You have, in other words, he gave us the land. And we're arguing that we don't have enough inhabited land to live in. She says, fine. So go up and cut down those trees. Clear the land where you are. And since the people living there, will be little number, because who lives in the forest anyway? People don't live in the forest. When you're traveling down the highway, you went like in, I see it many times when I'm traveling through Pennsylvania. So every once in a while you see in the forest a house. Yeah. You don't see a whole village there. You see a house here, a house there, whatever it's going to be. So he said, so in the forest you normally don't have that many people staying there anyway. So go up, clear out that forest. You have plenty of land to work for. Go up. You have a lot of people. Go up and clear that land out. And the small amount of people that you have there will not be able to stop you from clearing the land because you just have so many. That's your claim. You have so many people. So use your sheer number of people, clear out the land, no problem. And he says, ki atzlach, which would translate because it's too narrow for you. So he says the word ki doesn't mean because, it means if. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. He's saying clear out the land because it's too narrow for you. He's agreeing with them. He's not agreeing. He says if. Ki can mean if also. So if it's too narrow for you, then you can go up to Har Ephraim because again you have a great nation. So that's what he's arguing with. Don't impugn what God said, because really you have the land. You have to clear the land. That's your business. God doesn't do everything for you. Everybody likes to have the open fields. It's very nice. And when I have a mountain, by the way, which has more land? Think about this. If I have a mountain or if I have a straight field. The mountain has more land. So I have four sides basically of that. So I really have a lot of land there. Again, it's just a matter of me having to work and clear it out. You're going to argue, there's people there? Great. You said you're a tremendous nation. You're going to beat them. Okay?
Is there another word that could be used for cut or clear an area other than bereta?
Vikarata. You will cut.
So is there something there that's sort of like a pun using the create aspect of that word? In other words,
again, I want to understand. I'm making that drasha. Nobody else is making the drasha.
Nobody says that.
Nobody else is making the drasha. It's me personally, because I saw the word and I said, "Wow, this is strange." So I looked it up, and there is this actual word, beireta, mivare. It's coming from the same shoresh. But, and I'm sure that, well, I shouldn't say nobody says. I'm sure somebody probably said something somewhere, but I didn't see it.
I hate to beat a dead horse, but wasn't that what we were talking about in making, I'm tired, but we were talking about karat something to
make a deal.
Make a covenant.
Right.
Karat, to cut a deal.
Correct.
So instead of create,
it could
the word cut, isn't that kind of what you're saying?
No, he asked me what word would normally be used. he asked me, what if is another word that would be used for cutting down trees? So I said, karata, karat. So you cut down, you could use that. So that he wants to say, so why would they use bara? Okay, so, and the answer to that is, I don't know. Bottom line, I don't know it. Why they decide to use beret at this point, but it's interesting. It's also used in Yechezkel and Ezekiel, chapter 23, where it says, odhem b'charavatam. You should cut them, clear them away with your swords. That's how, by the way, that's how the rabbis know here. It's what we would call, in the world of biblical criticism, lower criticism. In other words, I have a word in another place that's used, the words they used similarly. That must mean, so I can learn from one place to the other what each word means. Because like I said, without looking at it, I'm going to assume it means creating for yourself. But now I know that it's beret, so I know it means cut it down. But I'm sure, like I said, Mr. Orenstein, I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody pick on that. It was me picking on it. So if somebody picks on it, Baruch Kavanti, blessed is the one that I'm happy I was mechave. I figured out what they would ask. And if not, and someone wants to argue with me, then they're arguing on me, nobody else. And it's fair ball to argue on me because I'm in this century. Can I argue how you
Where
want?
I was confused now because in that idiom that we just had in our Hebrew lesson,
Right,
it was second word was barit,
right.
covenant.
Right.
And I'm confusing barit with what you say baret, create.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I don't know.
okay. Very good. Okay, so now that's his first response. So what do they answer? Vayomru b'nei Yosef. So b'nei Yosef, not mind you. I'm not going to mind you. I want you to figure this out. Vayomru b'nei Yosef. B'nei Yosef said, Lo yimatzeh lanu hahar. The hill is not enough for us. V'rechev barzel, and chariots of iron. B'chol Kanani hayoshe be'eretz ha'emek belong to all of the Canaanites that are living in the valley. Asher Beit Sha'an ufenoteha, that are in Beit Sha'an and her towns. V'la Asher be'emek Yisrael, and that are in the valley of Yisrael or Jezreel. They would translate that as. Okay, what's the thing there? What's going on there? What's the automatic question you should be asking? Of course, that means you have to remember what was going on all the way back to last week.
They're saying that the Canaanites, they're going to be there and they're capable of defending it if we go up.
Right, right.
We're going to go up there with our saws for cutting down the trees that are how they're going to attack us with iron chariots and weapons apparently.
Mm-hmm. What else? Where are the chariots of iron? Where are the iron chariots?
In the valley.
In the valley. So why they want to go? He's telling them to go to the mountain. Why are you picking on the valley?
Maybe they have to go through the valley to get to the mountain.
No.
Oh, no.
Good guess, but no. Because if that was the case, they should have picked on that first. They're saying there's not enough room on the hill. And by the way, they have chariots of iron. Why not just say for the original, hey, excuse me, you told me we're going to the mountains, which means I have to go to the valley. They're going to kill me before I get there.
So wait, they're on Mount Ephraim. They're on an elevated area right now. They got to go down into the valley to get up to the.
No, they are in. Where are they right now? You're asking.
Yeah.
He says in that area. They have that area. If you remember, by the way, they do own Beit Sha'an, the Sha'an. They own Sha'an because it says before in Yud Aleph, it says Vahil Menashe was to the tribe of Menashe and Yisachar and Zvulun Beit Sha'an and its areas. So they have all these places, but they're saying if you want me to go into the woods, then I'm going to be attacked. If I'm going to go into the valley, I'm going to be attacked. Because why? Because don't forget, we didn't kick out all these people. The people still remained in the valleys, and they have these. They still remain where they were because we didn't get rid of them like we were supposed to. So now they're using that to say, wait a second, they're here, and we can't just usurp land the way you're expecting us to do. Go into the mountains and take it. It's very nice, but it's hard to do. Go ahead.
Why are they saying that the mountain is insufficient for us? And then only mentions about Canaanites with the orange. Is the mountain insufficient for them only because there's going to be trouble in their path getting there? I mean, the mountain would be sufficient. It seems
Okay.
like, it should be.
That's
Why is
something
he
too.
saying it's insufficient?
That's something too.
You should just say, we got a block in our way to get there.
By the way, something else that we should have commented on before, we as a group. Why is it Bnei Yosef? That's Menashe and Ephraim.
Both of them, yeah.
But they both have different land masses. They're both different tribes. Menashe and Ephraim are different tribes. Why are they suddenly coming together as one and saying, we need more land? Regardless of the numbers they have, why are they coming together? Why isn't it Bnei Menashe and Bnei, like it was when it came to taking over the land on the other side of the Jordan? It kept saying Bnei Gad, Bnei Reuven, and, that was the two tribes. So Bnei Gad, Bnei Reuven. Why doesn't it say Bnei Menashe and Bnei Ephraim? Why are they coming together as a company here? That would be one of the questions that you can easily ask on this. Anyway, he's addressing it as one tribe, not two tribes. He will address it from the commentaries as two tribes, but really he's looking at it as one tribe at this point. Okay.
So is there something going on here where they're evading the real reason and they're bringing up these reasons in place of a real reason for them not wanting to go up and clear an area in that mountain?
Could be. I'm not sure. Could be that they're. What would reason would you give?
That the two tribes have a disagreement in terms of sharing the land?
No. They're not disagreeing. On that, there's nothing to disagree. They were given a piece of land. So you're given a piece of land. You can argue, I don't have enough land. I can tell you go declare out more land, but that's about it. But it's. By the way, you have it around here. I've seen it around here. You have people who own land, and they never cleared it.
Yeah.
They never cleared it, and they want to. Why don't we clear it around here? Because God only knows we don't want to keep the lawn mowed. That's about it. We like our woody areas, and we don't want to clear it. But I know plenty of people on this street alone that do not clear their land. They like the trees.
Yeah.
So, but think about how if I'm farming, or I have animals, I don't want those trees there anymore. So that's why I want to start clearing out the trees. The question is, do I want to spend the time? Do I spend the money? Do I have the manpower? And so on and so forth. But really, that's another question you could ask. Was it that everybody else has the simplest explanation, by the way, is they just didn't want to do the work. That's the simplest explanation, without any tricks. That everybody else had farmland, and here I have to work hard to clear my land. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to clear land. I want God. God can do anything. So give me some nice land that I can fertile land. I mean, that was what Zavulun argued because he was by the sea. So what kind of nonsense is this? I can't farm. And he says, yeah, but I'm giving you diamonds. All you do is mine the diamonds and the glass, the crystal, and everything else by the sea. You have all this stuff. Don't worry about it. And Asher had different problems. He had all the oil in the land and so on and so forth. So, everybody had their complaints, but Hashem is saying, I know what you guys need. I gave you everything. So here, they're coming. So simple, you could say that they're lazy. I don't want to say they're lazy, God forbid. But you could say that they're saying, I'm afraid I can't go into the mountains. They have iron chariots. What do I have to hear all this for? That's the question. So let's get into this. So like I said, Rashi is going to say, very simply, when it says they didn't find the mountains on enough land, ki atzu lanu is very pressed. Kasher Mount, like you said to us, is very narrow. We can't go up there. Okay. Lo yimatze, it means lo yaspik. There's not enough room. And on top of that, rechel barzel. You have the Kanani have iron chariots, and he says that what you say. I'll give you the Hebrew. Umasha ata omer la'alot hayar, and that which you Joshua said to go up into the forest, v'lichvosh be'eretz aprizi v'harafaim, and to conquer the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim who were still there. Am chazaku, it's a strong nation. Oto Kanani, that Kanani nation is strong. V'recha barzalo, and on top of that, not only are they strong, but they have iron chariots. They have the best war stuff. You know, it's a big problem. And so Rashi, by the way, tells us, do not worry that they're called Perizi, Rephaim, and Kanani, three different people, three different nations in one land. Why? Because really all of them are from the children of Canaan anyway. They're all brothers. So you can call them Nebel and whatever else my relatives would be. Really, we're all one big family. We all happen to be living in the same area. No big deal. But we're picking on the names. That's what Rashi's telling us. So don't get excited, he says. It's really all one group. By the way, why is that? Why did Rashi have to tell us that? They're all one family. Rashi doesn't just speak to speak. Rashi normally will be very succinct with what he's saying. So why do you have to tell us? Don't worry, they're all the same family. Don't think that they're different, three disparate groups.
I guess that it's not that there's a third group that's defending them. It's that they can defend themselves. They can kill the Jews because of their military power.
Yeah, but why? But why tell us? That's fine. But why tell us the Canaanites, Perizzites, and the Rephaim are all one of the same family, same Kanani?
I think you can look at this two ways. You have one enemy, not three.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
But by having one enemy, if they're numerous, that could be more powerful than having three separate enemies. They're together.
Stay with the first one. The first one was what I wanted. I can attack my family all I want, because it's my family. I can say what I want against the Jewish people. But the non-Jew, don't open your mouth. We're a family. I can pick on my family, not you. So that's what Rashi's getting across here. You think that if I can go in and get the Perizzites and the Gerga and the Rephaim and the Kanani are going to sit down there and do nothing? It's all one family. I attack them, I get their brothers to come, or their cousins to come at me. So it's not one simple thing. I take out one, take out the other, and finally the third one. I'm fighting everybody at the same time. I'm opening up a lot of borders, or a lot of fronts, a lot of fronts. I don't want to open up all those fronts. That's why I believe, again, argue all you want for the internet people, argue all you want with what I'm saying, because this is my take on Rashi. Why he has to say that all three are really one. Okay? But that's one thing. They're saying it's not so easy. And then the Metzudas David says, when it says, Loi Matzeh Lanu Hahar, there's not enough place for us here. So it says, Emet HaDavash Ein Maspik Lanu Har Ephraim. It says it's true to what you said, like Rashi, that there's not enough space here. Vrech Barzel, V'im Tashiv Lomar. If you're going to come back to us, they say, and tell us, Halo Nechaltem Gam HaEmek, that you're complaining you don't have enough land. You have the valley. Go into the valley. The valley is yours too. We are going to answer like this to say, that the people who live in the valley are even stronger. And they have chariots, and this is also interesting, kit barzal. He doesn't say iron chariots. He says chariots is strong like iron. V'ef shalakav sham, and it's impossible to conquer them. And it says the shir beit sha'an. So that's in Beit Sha'an. When Farish Lamar, Shehem Ashir Beit Sha'an, that is that they are there in Beit Sha'an. Hanitan l'nachala Menashe, which was given to the inheritance of Menashe. So why would Ephraim fight for Menashe? They're two different groups. I want land, you want land. We're not one group. We're not one big family when it comes to inheritance. So therefore, why am I going to... You can't tell me to go to the valley because the valley belongs to Menashe. Okay? And Be'emek Yisrael. So the valley of Israel, that itself was from the inheritance of Yisachar. Besides the Emek that was their inheritance. So we have a whole bunch of things going on. We have a lot of border, what's it called? Everybody's fighting borders here. It's not only one piece of land we're fighting 3 different tribes at one time within ourselves. So you're right, it's narrow. It's not what do they call it, gerrymandered. They're gerrymandering like crazy here, and our borders are not square. Unlike when you fly in the air, you see all of our lands very nicely squared. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know how these architects or whoever devised the land had that, but really it's very orderly here. It's an amazing thing to see from the air. But if you looked in Israel, it would be all messed up. Everybody's part of the other guy. So what happens? So Vayomer Yoshua el Beit Yosef. Yoshua says to Beit Yosef, LeEphraim v'leMenashe. And suddenly we have a split here. He's saying to Beit Yosef, but specifically to Ephraim and Menashe. Who else is Beit Yosef, right? But he says to Beit Yosef, it's no longer Bnei Yosef, by the way. It's Beit Yosef here. The sons of versus the house of. Okay. Another change in the text.
And what's this? Well, that provokes a question for me. Why do they change from calling them the children of Joseph to calling them the house of Joseph? Is there a significance there?
Good. I like the question. We'll go on. Okay. The main thing is to get the questions, Jim. Whether or not I can answer questions, who knows? But the Ephraim of the Menashe, to Ephraim and Menashe, that would be the Beit Yosef. More saying, Am Rav Ata, you are a great nation. V'choach gadol lach, and you have great strength. Lo yeh lecha goral echad. You shall not have one lot.
One draw.
One what?
It says here one draw of the lottery.
One draw of the lottery. Fine. Good.
So in that sentence, he's saying they are one.
They are one. Yeah. What else?
And they are strong.
And what? Lo hiya lecha goral echad.
You only have one draw.
You only get one. You only get one. What's he saying to them? The question still stands from Jim, namely why Beit Yosef and then Ephraim and Menashe. That's compared to Bnei Yosef. But everything else, what's going on with the rest of it? You are a great nation. You are very strong. You are your power is great, and you will only have one draw. You're only going to have one lot. Well, it actually says you shall not have one lot. So go ahead. Lo hiyeh lecha. There will not be for you one lot, one gora, one lottery.
Changing from children of Joseph to house of Joseph, that's changing from plural to singular, from several children to one house. It's one thing.
Right.
Like you're united, even though you're different people, you're under one.
Okay.
One house.
Good.
So that's emphasizing that, in
Yeah.
fact, they are two different tribes, but they're from the same house.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Following that.
What else? Based upon this? you'll like what's going to happen here. So he says, Rashi again. Let's go through the. Sorry, Rashi doesn't comment there. So let's go right to the Meshuzah David. He says like this: Am Ravata, Ulazeh. Since you're a great nation, Ulazeh Yesh Lakoach Gadol, you have a great strength. Lihilachem, to fight. Ulaharchev et gavucha, and to widen your borders. Shlo yelecha nachala mu'etet, so you will not have a small portion. Ki'ilu, as if it were goral echad, one lot. In other words, he's saying, I'm not giving you another lottery. That's not happening, because you'd be impugning the lottery. But if you do what I'm telling you, and you use your combined forces together, since you are one family, to tell me that Beit Sha'an belongs to Menashe and not to you, Ephraim, that doesn't really mean anything to me, because when we gave the lottery was based upon Beit Yosef. Happens to be Ephraim and Menashe. Very nice, but you're still Yosef. Okay? That's something that's something else that's going on there too. Now, that's just what's it called? The digest, the commentary digest of the Judaica Press has a very nice take on this whole thing. It says that Rashi and the Radak and explains like this: the dialogue between Joshua and the children of Joseph in the following manner. The mountain belonged to Ephraim, while the valley belonged to Menashe. Joshua advised the tribe of Menashe to occupy Mount Ephraim by clearing the forest and driving out the Perizzites and the Rephaim therefrom. The Ephraimites would surely agree to this plan, since their forests would be cleared and land would be settled, and the enemies would be driven out. So everybody's a winner, right? I'm going to come to you, Ephraim, and brother, love you, brother, and I'm going to clear out the land for you. And drive the people out. Upon this, the tribe of Menashe rejoined, the hill is not enough for us. And all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron. So therefore, the valley, which is necessary for our population, is impregnable. Thereupon, Joshua requested of the children of Ephraim, that's why Beit Yosef, to join the children of Menashe in their battle against the Canaanites. He enjoined them, he says, you shall drive out the Canaanites because he has iron chariots and because he is strong. Therefore, his presence in the valley represents a threat to your security in the hills. So the Ramban explains that the two tribes of Joseph were given one lot, which was then divided into two, to be shared by Ephraim and Menashe. Since Menashe had increased considerably, this land did not suffice for them. Since the children of Menashe could not drive out the Canaanites, they found their territory inadequate. So once that happens, let's combine forces, let's do what we need to do, drive out the enemy amongst us. And that way we increase. And the way, how do I convince you to do it? By telling you, I'll clear out your land, you'll clear out our mutual enemy, namely the people with the iron chariots, and we'll have space. And how does Joshua feel about this? Great, because what's going to happen is the lottery is not being impugned. You get one piece of land, you have to clear it out and get rid of the peoples. If you can't have everybody living in one land, and it's by God's rules, so you have to do that. Fine. That puts everything together, and like I said, that's why I believe this is Beit Yosef compared to Bnei Yosef, because he's saying you guys got to work together. You brothers, deal with it. And you only get one portion of land because, again, it was only 12 brothers originally. Good. Any questions on that? Everybody's cool? Good. Okay, let's start chapter 18. We're not going to get that far, but let's try. So all of the congregation of Bnei Israel assembled in Shiloh. Vayashkinu sham at Ohel Moed, and the Ohel Moed dwelled there. They set it up. what happens? Ve'ha'aretz nichbasha lifneihem, and the land was conquered before them. Any questions? Again, the land, all of the congregation of Bnei Israel assembled in Shiloh, and that is where they set the tent of meeting up there, or that's the best way to say that. And the land was conquered before them.
By who? Who conquered the land?
Okay, good. That's one thing. What else?
Why did they assemble in Shiloh?
Okay, what else?
Why one sanctuary or one altar instead of allowing multiple altars like
Good.
we had before?
Great. What else? Anything else?
Wait, they didn't have to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
They didn't have to do it, it had already been done for them, or maybe I'm getting mixed up here. I thought they were the ones that had to get the land ready for themselves, but the land had already been.
No. We've that discussion for B'nai, for Beit Yosef is done.
Okay.
That is next
Okay, there's something else, okay.
next thing, right?
Was Shiloh near Jericho? Not far from Jericho?
I have no idea. I don't know the geography.
Okay.
I don't. Sorry. I just go to the map to find that one out. Okay, so the first thing Rashi says like this. So ve'ashkiru sham et ohel moed, that they dwelt there in the ohel moed, the tent of meeting. Sha'asu b'midbar, that was made in the desert. V'lo haya sham tikra, there was no ceiling there. Ela bayit shel avanim, it was a house of stones. Melmatam on the bottom, v'yariyot melmatan, and curtains on top. And that's what we learn another place. Fine. What does it mean the land was conquered before them? Mishanikba ha-mishkan, once the Mishkan was fixed in Shiloh, Haita Eretz Nocha L'chavesh L'fneihem, the land was easily captured before them. Because why would it be easily captured before them? It was easier than before. Because the divine presence of God is there. So they've set up shop, as it were. That's number one. To answer your question, I saw somebody say it. Maybe we'll be saying it later, but I'll answer it now. The reason that no more bamot could be set up, no more altars could be set up once Shiloh is set up, is Shiloh becomes like Jerusalem. Once the temple is built, no, you cannot sacrifice even in Shiloh. So once Ohel Moed is set up, so that is the only place one could bring their sacrifice, and it would be forbidden everywhere else, because we only have one God, one priesthood, and that's the end of it. So once you do that, it was once it's set up, you can do it. You only can bring it there. When Shiloh is destroyed, is in rubbles, again the bamot are allowed to be put into other places until it's rebuilt again, and then it's destroyed again once it's there. When it comes to Jerusalem, and Jerusalem becomes sanctified, and so even when it's destroyed, we never at that point can move that's why we don't have bamot today. Otherwise, you could do it again, right? And so the answer is no, because Jerusalem always maintained its sanctity, which is why today Jews are not supposed to go on the Temple Mount, because it still has a sanctity to it, and we're not spiritually pure. We don't have the red heifer. So as a result of that, we're not supposed to go up on the Temple Mount. So the Arabs do us a favor by not. In certain places, we're not allowed to go.
That's where the mosque is now?
The mosque is right where the Holy of Holies would be. I believe that's where it was.
On the Temple Mount.
On Temple Mount. So certain places on the Temple Mount, we are not allowed to go. Other places we can go, but certain places we cannot go. So you really have to know where those places are, otherwise you're facing cars. So there's a sign that the Israeli, it wasn't the Arabs, it was the Israelis who put it up. That I think probably the rabbinate put it up. It says, Jews should not pass this
On the
door.
mount itself and like the plaza before the.
No, at the green door.
Oh.
The green door that you could enter the Temple Mount. So
Wow.
there's a sign saying you should not cross here. Jews should not cross because it's a holy place and we're not spiritually clean, and so on and so on and so forth. But that all comes from this concept of the sanctity. It comes from the Gemara actually. The sanctity of Jerusalem is never nullified. The Har HaBayis is still the Har HaBayit, and we still have to treat it properly. And it's when you don't have picnics up there.
Right.
Okay.
Bruce Faywell walking the Bible. He did a video.
Say it again, please.
Of where he was. Bruce Faywell, famous walking the Bible. He did a PBS
Okay.
thing walking the Bible. He did a video exactly where Evan Shasia is supposed to be.
Oh yeah. Isn't the Evan Shasia in the mosque?
In the mosque, yeah.
Yeah, right there, the Dome of the Rock. That's the rock. Evan Shasia, yeah. Okay, we'll have to stop here. So we're on chapter 18, verse 2.